Hi everyone, I wanted to go over Google Classroom and the layout for Spanish class. I know each teacher does their Google Classroom a little bit differently, so I want you guys to please watch this video, familiarize yourself with where everything is located, and feel free to show your parents as well. So this is what's called our main stream. So on our main stream, there will only be different notifications about whether there is a test or maybe if I need to push something out about an assignment, things like that. Your assignments will not post on this page. So again, the main stream is for any class announcements that will be necessary. Up top, you guys can see, which on the iPad it's actually down at the bottom, our most important tab is going to be the classwork tab. When you guys click on the classwork tab, you will see a few different things. So at the top of the page, you are going to see what is called the late work form. So this late work form will always stay at the top of the Google Classroom for you guys. So anytime you are completing an assignment later than its due date, you need to complete this form. So again, you will complete this Google form for each assignment you are handing in late. One thing I want to clarify is that all assignments are due by the end of that class period. So if you are working on Tuesday's work, that work is due on Tuesday by the end of your class period. So if you are turning it in any later than that time, you need to fill out a late work form. Again, you will do so for each assignment that you are turning in late. What this form does is it sends me an email, lets me know that you filled out this form. You are going to fill out what assignment it is. I'll be able to see that. This way I know when you do something and hand it in later. Unfortunately, since I won't see some of you in class and since everything is virtual or digital, you can't just hand in a paper late to me. Okay, so that's why we have this late work form. It sends me notification so that I know to go back in and grade that assignment for you. Afterwards, our next topic we have is our syllabus and rules, which is pretty self-explanatory. We will go over this in class, but it's just there in case you need a reminder. Our next tab we have is our monthly calendar. So this will go up in a few days so that you guys can see it. So I will have a month up at a time so that you know what tests and quizzes are coming up and what we will be doing in Spanish class. Our next section is our Zoom session. I didn't want to post the link since this is going onto YouTube, but your link will be posted here for Zoom. Keep in mind, we will Zoom every single day. Okay, the only time you will not attend a Zoom session is if you are physically sitting in front of me in class. Otherwise, you will always attend Zoom sessions. Zoom sessions will start at different times, so please check your Google Classroom as far as what time your Zoom session will start for that block. Our last tab is our weekly assignments tab, and this is one that I want to go over. So I will post every Monday all of that week's assignment. So I post it a week at a time. So you guys can see I label, I tell you which week it is, and then I also give you the dates as well. So here you can see this is week 1, February 2nd to the 5th. So let's go ahead and look at what this looks like. So looking at this assignment, you guys can see we have a bunch of different things uploaded. So the first thing that we have is our weekly goals and our agenda. Okay, so looking at this will be uploaded every single week so that you guys know what our goals are for Spanish class for that week. So you can see on the second slide. And on the third slide, this is always going to give you our weekly agenda. So what we will be doing that week. So this is an overall view of just that week in general. And again, it will be uploaded every single week with that week's assignments. So going back to that page, you guys can see each day is then labeled. So your work for Monday, you would click on Monday. Each student has their own copy of this. You guys will then go through and then complete the work for that day. Once you are done, then Tuesday, you would move on to Tuesday's work. One thing that I want to point out is that if a student edits a Google slide, so if you are editing the Google slides that I've made a copy for you, I can see your edits without you having to turn the assignment in. So if a student was working on Monday's work and they were creating text boxes and writing in, I can still see your work without you having to turn in that week's assignments. Okay, this is one of the reasons why I don't put a due date on these assignments. I don't want to confuse students. Each day your work is due by the end of that block, and again, I can see your work as long as you are doing it in a Google slide. If you do it in a PDF, it will just save onto this week's assignment, so I still will be able to see it once you have completed that PDF. So that is it as far as your weekly assignments. One thing I want to note is that your weekly assignments will always say ungraded. I do not grade the whole entire week as a whole on Google Classroom. I will grade different days based on completion or on correction, and you guys will be notified of that. So just keep in mind that just because it says ungraded on Google Classroom, that is not necessarily true. I just don't put any grades in on Google Classroom. Everything will be in on PowerSchool. It's updated usually daily, but if not, at least by the end of that week so that you guys know what your grades are in real time. So that is an overview of Google Classroom and where everything is located. If you all have any questions, please feel free to email me.